Hi, I'm Kathy Dodson.
And I'm Jocelyn Lindsay. Welcome to another amazing, awesome episode of 5 Minute Indie Insights, where we're giving you publishing tips and tricks in mostly 5 minutes because even your inner critic can't interrupt us if we talk that fast.
Good way to start out. Well, today we are talking about the hot topic of the last at least year,
Oh, yeah,
AI. So, talk
yes.
to us about Jocelyn really does far more in AI than I do because she loves all that technical stuff. I use it to make the things I'm doing easier.
Yep.
And Jocelyn, you're out there like exploring new worlds with this stuff. But
Yeah,
today we are going to focus on how you can, how you can use AI in your writing if you choose to, and it is a personal choice.
absolutely. I mean, we're here to educate you. We're not here to convince you to use or not to use.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of the AI conversation in the writing industry gets really focused on make all my covers, write my book. And I think there's this huge spectrum in the middle of how do you make being a author business owner easier by using tools that are not write my book and like create all my art for me. And
Mm-hmm.
so like as a book coach, I've been really focusing on how can AI be used to help authors do some of these business tasks that can seem really overwhelming or really mundane and boring. I like for my businesses, I use AI for a lot of accelerating my mind, not as artificial intelligence, but as acceleration intelligence. How can I use it to go through large pieces of data and help me analyze massive amounts of data that would take me hours to otherwise use?
Mm-hmm.
And how do I use it to like help me brainstorm social media? How do I use it to help me figure out who my audience is? So I think there's a lot in between of how do I just use it to make me a more accelerated business owner so that the business I can still stay really human in. I can still keep working on relationships and building the parts of my business that are more human now than the 8 hours it might take me to analyze all kinds of data. So for me in the business, that's really what I'm focusing on and trying to help a lot of my writers think about AI as. Because like you said, there's all kinds of places that as writers we can insert AI, and I think it's how do we insert it in a way that makes us able to do what we really love
Right, by making it do the things we hate.
by making it. Except it still will not fold my laundry. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like it won't fold the laundry or put the dishes away.
Yeah.
That,
No, I
that's
think that's a really good point. I mean, there are authors out there who are like, I'm going to publish 1,000, 100 books a day, whatever it is. And I just pray I never come across one of those books and start to read it because I don't want to read that stuff. The writing is the part that I enjoy, right?
yeah,
But I'm not a great copy editor, which is something that is a profession, right? That people train for. And so I definitely use AI to help me, come up with 10 things for this blurb. And one of the things I will say, there are a couple of things you need to know about AI for it to be useful to you. One is that good old garbage in, garbage out. Your prompt, how you initially ask for things, is critically important because you can go into Claude or ChatGPT or anyone else and say, write me a blurb. That's not going to get you anything, right? You want to say things like, you are a book marketing expert.
yeah,
I write in this genre, and here is a summary of what my book is about. What kinds of readers will this appeal to? And you can say, give me targeted readers this will appeal to. And it's like, okay, well, it'll appeal to people who like fierce women. Justin and I both write books about, these badass fierce women. It will appeal to women who are a little bit older, different. So it'll break down categories if you ask it to do that.
yeah.
It will write your blurbs the way you want if you ask it to, but give it a formula. Don't just say write a blurb and not
Right,
tell it what you're looking
right.
for. You want an impactful first statement. You want it to be limited in word count. You want it to end on a cliffhanger. There's these things that you need to have in there. Your prompts are critical.
Yeah, AI is not a silver bullet. If you don't know what you're asking for, if you don't know what is good, or if you don't know what is like close to what you want on the other side, AI also hallucinates.
Oh
It's
yeah,
going to start putting, it's going to try, it's like a puppy. It wants to make you happy. I mean,
yeah.
so it's going to do things to try and fill in the blanks that you don't give it. And so I would, one, you can't just say, write me a best selling thriller, and 20 minutes later, you're giving James Patterson a run for his money. It doesn't work that way. It can do hundreds of things, but it's not going to replace the soul of your work or your knowledge. And I think that's really key. If you don't know what makes a good book blurb, you're not going to know if AI just gave you a good book blurb on the back end. If
Right.
you don't know what a good inciting incident, if you don't know what the craft is or the knowledge is, you can't really trust what you're getting on the other side.
Well,
And
that's a great point.
and I see a lot of people in many industries making that mistake. And we read about that mistake being made in some really embarrassing ways.
Yes.
So I think AI gives you the opportunity to reclaim your time and energy so that you can really dig into the soul of your work and what you're doing and bring your human heart into the room. It can write you 30 blurbs if you know what
Yeah.
30 good blurbs are.
And that is where the
Key.
beauty is, because
Yeah.
you'll see language instead of having to go to a thesaurus. It'll have all this different these different words and the way it puts sentences together and things that you're like, okay, and your brain starts working when it sees all of that raw material. And so then you can go in and craft. What I do is I'll say, write me 10 blurbs, and then I'll craft 5 out of all of that language. And then I'll test those on Facebook to see if readers like them, right? It's this long
Exactly.
process. But another thing that's great is that, and this is kind of the second trick of AI, is first you've got to prompt it correctly and know what you're talking about. But then it's a conversation.
Absolutely.
AI is not like a Google search where it's one and done. Like
Yeah.
it'll give you the information you ask for, and then you're like, you know, that's okay, but can you rewrite it and make it punchier?
Yeah.
Or
Make it
you said
sassier.
it hallucinated, right? You said that the cartels were in this book. They're not. Can you take that part out? And
Exactly.
it's a
Yeah.
conversation that just goes on and on.
Yeah.
And you can be more specific. It's like, oh, okay, thanks for those blurbs. Now I would like just little 50-word marketing sentences,
Right.
to go with some ads I'm doing or whatever it is, and it'll craft those.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it generates content, and it's a predictive machine. It's generating content based on predictions of what it thinks is the next best answer. And so the best way to get the best answer for you is to engage it in a conversation built around what you're specifically looking for. And the more specific you can be, the better the response you're going to get, whether you're using Claude or Chat or Gemini or what. That's ubiquitous to all of them. The more specific you can be, the better it's going to be. But if you have to start out with a really generic question of, I need 10 blurbs for my book, I need 10 blurbs for my cozy romance mystery set in Florida, you can start getting more specific, because as a puppy, it's going to keep bringing the ball back to you and asking you, would you like me to do X? Would you like me to put that into a table for you? It's going to keep wanting the conversation to go on.
right. And Jocelyn brought up a great point, and this is why she's really into the back end of this, is she talked about it being predictive. That's actually how it thinks. It's
Yep.
like, what's the next word that would come? Then what's the next word? So it's using all of this data to predict what the next word is going to be. And that's why at the end of it, I would never encourage you just to take exactly what any of these programs write.
No.
Use that as the fodder for what you are going to say in your blurb.
Yes.
The chances of it coming up with exactly the right blurb are probably very slim, but it will give you enough information, and you're the one who knows your story, to combine those two things into the blurb that's going to
Right.
really.
Yeah, I think you use it to make yourself smarter, not to abdicate your intelligence.
Oh, love that.
I mean, because I think that's what a lot of people think of AI. It's like, well, it's going to do all the thinking for me. Well, if AI is doing all of your thinking for you, that can be really problematic because it's really not thinking. It's creating responses for you. So, absolutely. I mean, I am totally here for AI in all kinds of forms, but I think you have to really understand it. You have to understand what it is and definitely what it is not. And it is not a silver bullet. It's
Right.
not going to make you a best-selling author in 3 days.
Right. And I want to circle back to where you started, which is, we understand there are issues with AI. We understand there are issues with copyright. That's not what today's conversation is about. We can come back and have a different conversation about that. There are lots of problems with AI. There's energy usage problems. There's copyright problems. There's, there are issues. We get that. And it is your decision whether you use it or not. But if you're going to use it the right way, because
Yeah.
then you'll get something out of it.
Exactly. And that's what we're here for. We're here to help you. We're here to help you with the tools that you have at your disposal to use and hopefully help you use them a little bit better. So that's a quick talk about a very deep, well conversation, but
We'll be back.
we will be back on it. It's not going away. We're not going to go away talking about it. If you have questions, if you have thoughts, please let us know. We would love to carry on this conversation. I'm sure we will be back to it soon.
Yep.
So in the meantime, write your book. Go get your book
Definitely.
written. You need a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so we're here rooting for you. Keep going. Remember, one foot in front of the next. This is a long process, and we will still be here. So
Yep.
take care. Give us a like, send questions, whatever, however we can help you. Let us know, and we will see you next week. All the
Yep.
best.
Bye.